Sorry, we missed the power, and it's back again. So we continue. Yes, who's ready to start reading?
I'm ready.
Go.
Gillian Paulson thinks the reason why children love fairy tales is quite simple. They just want to know what happens next. Folk tales or fairy stories are especially good for these because they don't normally have anything extra to get in the way. You don't need to know what the character is feeling or thinking, just what they do next. So you can start your story with something like once upon a time there was a poor old woman who lived in a forest with her son. And that's it. You don't need to say where the forest was or why they were poor. They don't even need to have names. What did they do? That's the only important part.
So this is a longer paragraph, but it has a very simple idea. Why do children love fairy stories or fairy tales?
Just want to know what happens next.
Okay, that's it, no more. Very nice. They just want to know what happens next. Now, if you read a story for a child or let him read a story, if you stop him at a certain point, then he will ask you, I need to know what happened next. That's the most important thing. What happened next? Let me finish, please. He will request you to let him finish. Now, they don't want to know who did that, why did he do that, where was he? If you, for example, suggest telling them a story, once upon a time there was a poor woman who lived in a forest with their son. They will not ask you where is the forest. They won't ask you why were they very poor. Now, all they need to know is what happened next if you stop them. So children love stories because they want to know what comes next, what comes next, what comes next, and no more. Now, the last paragraph, Muhammad.
Okay. Stories then are good for children, first by hearing them, and later by reading them independently. We learn that language is for sharing ideas and having fun. But Gillian has a warning for parents and teachers. Don't tell them that it's good for them, and certainly don't encourage them to read books that you think they should. There is no quicker way to make them not want to read.
Thank you. This is it's the shortest paragraph, in fact, but it has two different ideas. Question number one, why are stories then good for children? Look at the first.
Prove
Because they
their
hear
hearing
them
and reading.
Hearing them.
and later by reading them.
Yes, continue. They learn that
They
language
learn
is for sharing
language.
ideas and having fun.
Have fun.
Okay, so why are they good for children? Because they learn why language is used, the purpose of using a language. ليش الناس بيستخدموا اللغة? Why do people use language?
Share ideas and having fun.
Sharing ideas and having fun. Anything else is extra. So the first thing we need to talk about is we express ourselves. We learn others' ideas once they speak. If they don't speak, we don't know what's in their minds. And also, we have language to have fun. We enjoy ourselves in life. Children learn this, so they become successful at it simply because they know that language is for having fun and sharing ideas. What's the precaution that the writer suggests? How should parents and teachers be careful? Two things.
Don't tell them that it's good for them.
Okay.
And certainly don't encourage them to read books that you think they should.
That's it. Thank you very much. First, don't choose books for them. Don't tell them that this is good for you. If you do that, what will happen? Why? The final question, number 5. If you tell them or choose them a story, what would happen?
There's no quicker way to make them not want to read.
So yes, that's it, Muhammad. They will stop reading. They will quit it and stop reading. Is it okay with the text now, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the title? We go back.
Highly intelligent stories.
Now, why are they highly intelligent?
Because they are fairy.
They are fairy and they teach something. because they teach children something. Now, the very first sentence is an opposite idea. It's a completely different ideas. Stories make children believe something that doesn't happen in real world. Why did he start with a completely contradictory idea? ليش بدأ فكرة مناقضة بالأول?
Because things can't happen in the real world.
No, that's not the idea, Muhammad. Think about it again. He started with the opposite idea first to make his idea stronger, to make the ideas in the paragraph stronger. So if you want to talk about the advantages of studying in a private school, you can start with the disadvantage of studying in a public school, for example, to say that in a private school, it's much better for you. Here, he said that fairy tales and fairy stories make children believe something that doesn't happen in the real world. This is the general idea. It's wrong. Gillian Paulson disagrees, and she thinks the first thing that she started with, they help children to develop their imagination. And another idea is that they learn to question the world. They change. They are never quite the same. Albert Einstein is another person who supports the idea when he says, if you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. And if you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. So fairy tales and stories are very good for children. They are useful. Now, if you read them, your stories, Einstein says, they will get to somehow get good exam results at school in language, in math, and science. This means that it's not only learning a language, because they learn to use their imagination. They learn math. They can imagine things. And they learn science, because part of science is trying to imagine what's happening, what happens. Now, Gillian Paulson thinks that the children love these fairy stories simply because all they want is what happens next. They don't need to know anything extra. So these are good for children. All stories that begin once upon a time focus on action, not on why, where, when. So the last paragraph says, if you read these fairy stories for children or let them read them, they will learn the advantage of language for having fun and sharing ideas. But be careful. Don't tell them what to read. Don't tell them it's good for them. And don't encourage them to choose books that you choose for them, that they should. If you tell them read this and don't read that, there is no quicker way to make them stop reading. Next page. Now here we have the activity for the reading comprehension check. Look at that, Alice, please start reading the question.
Read the text again, then decide if the statements below for true or false.
Yes.
Write a sentence or part of a sentence from the text that helped you decide.
So are they true or false? And how did you know? Which sentence in the text tells you that? Sally, can you do number one?
Gillian Paulson shares people's concerns that folk tales are not realistic.
حقيقي. True.
False.
False. Okay. Yes. What's the sentence then?
Paulson couldn't disagree more.
Okay. Now sentence number two.
I can.
Yeah, go, Muhammad. Omar will do number three. Be ready, Omar.
She
Yes.
thinks stories only have a small effect on children. False.
The sentence.
Because she said one of the main points of these stories.
Yes. Continue, Muhammad.
She explains is that they don't happen in the real world. Once children have visited the other world, stories describe they are never quite the same.
Thank you. Now, number three. Omar. Omar says false. Who can give us the sentence there? Tiba, can you?
Yes.
Yes, go.
الثانية صح؟
Number three.
لا. Stories teach children to enjoy language. We learned that language is for sharing ideas and having fun.
Okay, number 4 now, Obada.
In these stories, actions and events are more important than ideas and events.
Yeah, true or false?
True.
Yes, what's
True.
the sentence?
مش عارف.
Okay, who can help him? Murad,
True.
what's the sentence? Okay, true. What's the sentence here?
أحكيها.
Yes? Yes, Sally.
We don't need to know what the character is feeling or thinking, just what they do next.
Thank you. Now, number 5, Joyce.
Children learn correct grammar from reading stories. True.
True. The sentence,
أستاذ الرابع شو لأنه شو مبين بالشاشة.
you don't need to know what the character is feeling or thinking,
True or
just what
false?
happens next. Now, you can
True
look
or
at it.
false?
It's true.
Okay.
Now, the next one, يلا,
نفسها أو
once children learn the grammar, yes.
research has
True.
shown that children who grow up hearing or reading stories got exam results.
Good exam results, which means they learn grammar or they learn that language is for blah, blah, blah. Now, the last one, number 6, Alice.
Parents should recommend good books for their children to read. False, and certainly don't encourage them to read books that you think they should.
Okay, thank you. Firas Sami, number 1 again.
Gillian Bolson shares people's concerns that folk tales are not realist. False. Gillian Bolson couldn't disagree more.
Number 2, Murad.
She thinks stories only have a small effect on children. False. Once the children have visited other words stories describe, they are never quite the same.
Thank you. Raya, number 3. Nicole, do that, please.
Stories teach children to enjoy language. True, we learn that language is for sharing ideas and having fun.
Okay, Raya, can you do number 4?
Yes, in stories, actions and events are more important than ideas and events.
Yeah.
You don't need to know what the character is feeling or thinking, just what they do next.
And it's true. Now, Talia, number 5. Diyar. Ru'a. Faris Usama, save them.
أي واحدة؟
5.
Children learn correct grammar from reading stories. مش فاهم شو أقرأ.
Okay, just read. It's there.
Research has shown that children who grow up hearing or reading stories get good exam results.
And it's true. Number 5, Kais. Number 6 now, sorry, Kais.
Parents should recommend good books for their children to read. False, and certainly don't encourage them to read books that you think they should.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, I need to go back to the previous page. You have many questions here on the text. Screenshot it, please, because these are such comprehension questions that you need to know. صوروا الشاشة هون وننقل على الصفحة بعد كمان مرة اللي true false. We are finishing in a minute. Now, next screen. You can screenshot it as well so that you can keep answers and write them if you wish.
Oh, 4 and 5 true, true.
Okay, yes, 4 and 5 true. Now, on the next page, it's something that you need to think about for next time because time is running out. What do the pronouns refer to? Then giving your opinion. What do you think? This is something for next time. Thank you very much for today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.